Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video we'll be looking at Hippowdon Eevolution deck for the Primal Clash On. So if you're not familiar with the Primal Clash On format, it's the new standard format for 2016-2017 rotation, after of course World Championship. So basically the Hippowdon, the main attacker with resistance desert for 60, for double colors and 1 fighting energy, and during your opponent next turn you can prevent all effects of attack including damage done to Hippowdon from Pokemon EX of your opponent. And also double edge can hit for 100 and you are doing 20 damage to yourself. So you can hit for a weakness on those fighting Pokemons, but also with evolutions you can get also lightning type, fire and water with those 3 evolutions, and you can also hit your opponent maybe for the weakness with that resistance desert. Also good thing is that I'm also running those bursting balloons in this deck just in case you are not able to set up, or if you are playing against non-EX deck with the bursting balloon you can also increase the damage that your opponent can actually take to himself if he decides to attack you. For example, if you're playing against Garchomp, you can hit for 80 with the resistance desert with the strong energy, and if Garchomp decides to attack you, it will knock out himself because you have that bursting balloon in play. Also for draw support, I'm running 2 copies of Octillery with a Beazle hand, so if you can set them, you can definitely get pretty good draw support with them. But also if your opponent ends you in the late game for like down to 1 or 2 cards with a Beazle hand, you can always get cards until they have 5, so you're not afraid against N. So N can definitely broke your opponent, but you are definitely good. So 17 Pokemon, 33 trainer cards and 10 energies. So from item cards I'm running also 1 Equar, which will allows me to shuffle back those flow stones and bursting balloons into my deck. 1 escape rope, just in case I'm playing against Glacian, but of course when Steam Siege will be legal, I will definitely attack that Pokemon Ranger, so I'm not afraid also against that Glacian EX, because Glacian says once Glacian EX actually attack you, you're not able to actually attack Glacian, but Escape Rope can definitely help you in that situation. Also having 2 level balls, which will help me to search my deck for Hippopotas, but any kind of evolutions, and Remoraid or Octillery. 2 Super Roads is just because this is non-EX deck and you actually want to have those Hippopotas and Hippowdons back, same as the Flareons and Eevees into your deck with those basic energy cards. In my opinion, running 2 Super Roads is definitely good for this deck. 4 Trainers Mails, 4 Ultra Balls and 4 V-Seek are pretty much staple. From supporter cards, for now I'm running 1 Hex Maniac, which can help me to shut down any abilities in play. Also single Lysander, so I can catch some of my opponent benched Pokemons in play. 2 Ents and 4 Sycamores, which is 6 draw supporters in total. From other supporter cards, I'm also running a single Wally, which can help me maybe turn 1 to evolve into Octillery, but also in the mid and late game, Wally can help you a lot because you can evolve. Just a single Stadium, 1 Silent Lab, which can help you to shut down your opponent's abilities, so he might not be able to play Shamans, for example. As I mentioned earlier, 3 Bursting Balloons and 2 Float Stones, which is 5 tools in total. And of course I'm running 10 energies, 4 strong energies, so I can increase the damage done with my Hippowdon for 20 more. 4 double colors energies, which is also required to use that resistance desert. And of course 2 basic fighting energies. So as usual, if you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on CCGCastle.com, and with TCG Center 5 code you can get 5% discount on your purchase by typing that. So you can definitely visit CCGCastle.com. You can find the link in my video description. So let's do some gameplay so you can actually see how this deck will work in the game. So see you in the game. Alright guys, let's do this. So I'm starting probably second because my opponent win that coin flip. Alright, so let's see. Opening hand, I guess it's pretty decent. There's Hippopotas, there's Trainer's Mail, there's Strong Energy, Sycamore, so I guess I can definitely get something good from this. On the other side, it's Darkrai. Alright, so probably Darkrai Giratina deck. And I need to be very fast until that Giratina actually hits my Hippowdon. So there is also Fighting Fury Belt attached to my opponent Dark Ray. So I guess I will definitely benefit from my Bursting Balloon if I can find any of them. So there is just Professor Sycamore. So I will just attach my Strong Energy, and I'm going to play. I will go with my N. I don't want to discard at the start a Super Road and Hippopotas and Hippowdon actually. So there is another Hippopotas, and I'm going to pass. So for the next turn I can have Hippowdon in the active spot, and I can even lock my opponent if I can find double Colress Energy, which is very good. Because from that point of the game he's not going to be able to attack with his EX. So he actually decided to discard his Yveltal, which is very difficult, very strange. Probably he don't know what Hippowdon can does. So there's Hoopa for Scandering, and with Hoopa you can search your deck for up to 3 EXs. So there's Giratina, Darkrai, and of course Shaman for the setup. He definitely needs to power up that Giratina before I actually manage to attack, because this is going to be very devastating for him. And there is double Dragon Energy attachment from his hand, which is very good. And Fighting Fury Belt on the Darkrai and Trainer's Mail for max Elixir. Alright, let's see if he can power up this Giratina on the bench. So he can actually lock me, so I can't attach my energies. Of course, my special energy. So let's see, max Elixir, luckily, no basic energy, and there is Shaman for 5. Maybe he can find a few more max elixirs and maybe escape rope or something like that. That would be definitely a good start for my opponent. But on the other side, if I actually manage to attack with my Hippowdon, I don't think that he have good chances actually to do something. So there is Ultra Ball, probably for another Shaman. Yes, it is. But already 2 energies discarded. So let's see what he can do. Another setup for 3. Can he maybe find another max elixir and maybe escape rope and energy switch, so he can actually power up that Giratina and prevent me from attaching special energies? That would definitely be a big move for my opponent, but again, there's AZ. If that's not gonna happen, he might not be able actually to attack, because his full bench and Pokemons in play are actually EXs, so he definitely need one a non-EX attacker like a baby Yveltal, but he decided to throw it out, and that was very interesting. So there is a V-Seeker for AZ, and Shin for only 1. Alright, so there is escape rope, but there is no energy attached on this Darkrai, so he just forced me to move my another Hippopotas actually, so I'm going to play right here just straight away Professor Sycamore, I guess. I'm looking for Float Stone and double Colress energy, so will I be able to find that? Unfortunately no, there is a Float Stone, but no sign of the double Chorus energy, and I guess I can just attach my Bursting Balloon and pass the turn for now. So definitely not the way I was expected. Right now, if he can somehow power up Giratina and move his Darkrai, he can actually use that Chaos Wheel. There's Energy Switch, and he can actually hit for the knockout right there, which is very good. But then on the other side, there is AZ for Shaman, so right now he can take 3 cards instead of the instead of the 1. And our pulse, definitely 110 enough for the knockout, so he is also taking 6 damage counters back. I'm still missing that double Colress, But if I can find one, let's say right now with my Sycamore, so I'm going all in. I just need to find one double chorus energy, and I guess this is going to be a GG for my opponent. So there is double chorus energy and a trainer's mail, so I can go with my Super Road. And I'm going to play my level ball right here for one more Remoraid. Later I will actually go for a Jolteon, so I can actually one-hit knock out those Shamans on the bench. And pretty much this is Resistance Desert for 140, actually 160 enough for the knockout. I'm going to take 2 prizes, and right now my opponent cannot attack my active Hippowdon, so this is more than likely good for me. So I just need one more energy, and I can use definitely Double Edge for 200. Actually for 240, so there is 0.6, so he just scrapped my double chorus energy and fighting energy attachment. You're not gonna see 0.6 in a Primal Clash Shown format, that's for sure, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, you're not going to see your opponent scrapping your, for example, Bursting Balloon, so there's V Secret for AZ. Alright. I should probably go with Xerosic, in my opinion. So I'm going to play my Eevee on the bench, and I'm going to play my actually Ultra Ball for one of my auxiliaries, so I can use a Peasel Hand for 5, and probably I'm going to snipe that Giratina on the bench because it's the biggest threat right now in my eyes. Alright, so there is another Hippowdon and one more level ball, so let's see if I have that Jolteon ready in my deck. No, I don't have, but I have another auxiliary which can be useful. Okay, so I can get one more Abyssal Hand. Let's see if there will be maybe Fighting Energy. Nope. So there is Trainer's Mail. Let's see, Trainer's Mail for the Silent Lab. I can definitely use my Silent Lab and shut down my opponent ability so he cannot actually set up with the Shaman, and there is Resistance Blizzard for 160. Alright, so there is Fighting Fury Belt attached on that Giratina on the bench. And one more Darkness Energy for the Darkrai, so AZ on that Shaman, but since I have Silent Lab in play, he just misplayed. No, you cannot set up your Shaman, so a very big misplay for my opponent right there. And yeah, definitely Hippowdon doing his job right there, especially against this heavy EX deck, Darkrai Giratina. So there's Dark Pulse, he cannot even attack. I can just easily, yeah, so he just actually decided to throw out this and gave me the victory. So you can see how actually powerful this deck is. So let's move to the game number 2. Alright guys, let's keep going on with this Hippowdon deck testing. So this is the game number 2. My opponent will flip the coin, so we are going to see who is going to start first. Actually, he won the coin flip, so he can choose between going first or second. I guess for me it's better to go first, that's for sure. So I'm playing against a pure fighting deck with probably Shaman as a support. So it might be, I don't know what could be. Maybe Lucario with Garchomp, maybe Zygarde, who knows. It's a Garchomp, so at least my opponent spoils me. So my opening hand looks pretty good. I really like it. I have Level Ball for Remoraid, and on my turn 2 I can have Auxiliary in play. Also have that Bursting Balloon, just in case actually my opponent managed to find, if he managed to find actually one of his Garchomps for the turn 2, I can maybe stop him from attacking with them, because I can attach my Bursting Balloon onto my Hippopotas and actually preserve that Hippopotas without taking any damage counters. So he started with the Gable. So let's see what else he can find. There is also Eco Arm in my hand, but I guess shuffling 3 tools. I actually put that Eco Arm in my deck because it's good, especially in the mid and late game, when you actually have 2 or 3 bursting balloons in your discard pile, and you can actually just play Eco Arm and reshuffle them back into your deck. So, in my opinion, that's a very good move because you can actually have like 6 bursting balloons in total. So there's Focus Sash and Corina. So with Corina, you can search your deck for 1 fighting Pokemon and 1 of your item cards. So I would probably expect 1 more Gable to see, and maybe some kind of the Ultra Ball, maybe Ultra Ball for Shaman and something like that. That would definitely be a good move. So let's see. On the other side, Garchomp is actually in slight advantage because it can hit with a single energy, and I actually need to have 2 energies with my Hippowdon to be able to attack. But the good thing is that I can also use Double Edge for like 100 and even more damage counters, depend on how many strong energies I have attached to my Hippowdon. So I can one-hit knock out his Garchomp, for example, where he might not be able to one-hit knock out my Hippowdon without like 2 strong energies and something like Muscle Band attached to it. So he actually decided to take 1 of his Carbings, which is very interesting. So there is a Carbing and Fighting Stadium, and it's my turn. So that was pretty much all. I'm going to play actually right here my Bursting Balloon and Level Ball for Emerite. And I think I will just also pass this turn right here, even without attaching any kind of the energies or something like that. So that's actually the only thing that I can do right now. For the next turn, I can play my Ultra Ball for Octillery, and I can evolve my Hippowdon. I can even play my Eco Arm, and then have a Beazle hand for maybe 5 cards, depending on the top deck card. So definitely not good when you actually miss-hit turn 1 energy attachment. So there is Carbing Break for my opponent. No sign of the fighting energies in his discard pile, and there is Rare Candy for that Garchomp. Very nice. So if he decides to attack, he's going to take 6 damage counters back. So there is Sycamore. And he is going to take 7 new cards. Alright, interesting that he didn't decide to play Battle Compressor to discard some of his energy. So there is Starling Megaphone and Turbo Assault is going to happen, that's for sure. You don't need to worry about Starling Megaphone because in the future format, Starling Megaphone will not be legal. So there is Ultra Ball for Hex Maniac and Strong Energy. Okay, and 1 more Gable, and there is Turbo Assault for 60. Okay, and 1 more energy attached. So there is a Float Stone, which is good. So what I'm going to do right there is I'm going to first play my Eco Arm, of course, so I can shuffle back my Bursting Balloon. Second, I can attach Float Stone to my Hippowdon actually and go with my Ultra Ball for Artillery. So I maybe will just retreat my Hippowdon from the active spot to my Eevee, so I can actually save my Hippowdon for later, because for now I don't have Attacker, and having 1 Hippowdon is definitely good. So there is Hippopotas, and also there is a Trainer's Mail, so I can grab maybe something like another N. Something like another Level Ball instead of the N for maybe another round of Hippopotas, or actually for a Remoraid, so I can have a second Octillery with my Wally right there. Okay, this is definitely good. So right now I have another abyssal hand for 5. There is one more hippopotamus. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to retreat down to my Eevee, and I'm going to actually evolve into Flareon, because with the Flareon in the active spot, I can actually survive if he don't use Bite Off, but if he actually use Bite Off, it really doesn't matter, because he can hit for 100, or he can just decide to pass the turn without attacking. In that situation, I definitely need to find Floatstone in order to retreat my Flareon. So there is Muscle Band for that Gable, actually Gabite, Gabite, and a Rare Candy for another Garchomp. So he have a lot of very strong setup right now. So let's see what he will do. Hopefully he's going to attack me right there. I really hope he's going to do that. Actually, if he do that, I can then hit for 60, 80 and knock out his Garchomp, so that's very important. And yeah, he decided to knock out my Flareon, so I definitely say this is a big mistake. Personally, I wouldn't do that, but my opponent actually decides to do that. Alright, so let's see what I can get with the first abyssal hand before I go with my Sycamore. Very nice, there is a Ultra Ball, so I can actually just grab my Hippowdon right there, and even without playing Sycamore, I can just knock out my opponent Garchomp right here. But let's see if I can maybe find another Bursting Balloon, so this is very important. No sign of Bursting Balloon, but there is another Hippowdon and a Floatstone, so I'm going to retreat. And hit for 80 with my Resistance Desert, so this is enough to knock out my opponent Garchomp, and I'm going to take one prize, so we are now equaled. Both we have 5 prizes. So what I'm looking right now is, I'm looking definitely to find Lysander, so I can somehow knock out his Garchomp on the bench, or maybe even just go for those Shaymins on the bench, because right now he have 2 Shaymins on the bench, so I just need to find something like Eevee first, Super Road, then Eevee for Jolteon, so there is strong energy. He can hit for 40 right there, and he can attach 2 energies on one of his benched Pokemon. So if I hit Lysander, I will definitely go for that second double-edge attack and knock out over his Shaymin on the bench. This is for sure. Alright, so there is another Garchomp and Focus Sash. So one more Focus Sash attached on that Garchomp. There is 40 damage, and he is going to attach 2 energies on one of his Garchomps. Okay, so right back, it's my turn. I'm going to see what I can find with my Trainer's Mail right here. Super Road, which is good. I can definitely play my Super Road right there and put back those Eevees back. Then I'm going to attach one Floatstone, and I'm going to play my Abyssal Hand right there just for the single card, which is a double chorus energy, so this is not good. Let's see, another Abyssal Hand. Alright, at least there's Bursting Balloons, so I can use that. And let's go with the N. Okay, no sign of the Eevee, which is very bad. But at least I can hit with Resistance Desert again for 80, and if he decides to attack me next turn, he's going to take 6 damage counters back, which is good. Which is definitely good. So he can't knock me out with his Carving Break, but he can knock him out self with attacking me. On the other side, if he retreats down to that Garchomp and do some damage with it, I'd be able actually to knock him back with my another Hippowdon on the bench. But I definitely needs to find way to knock out those shinies on the bench. So let's see. And there is one more Karina, so one more Karina in a row for my opponent. So how many Karinas he played? Actually 2 of them, so that means that he have like maybe one more Karina left. But he can definitely take something like a switch or something like that. Actually another rare candy and a Garchomp, so none of his Garchomps were actually priced, which is kind of surprised. So he have like 3 Garchomps ready in play, and that's just very powerful in my opinion. Alright, so another Garchomp just hits the ground. He's down to 13 cards. This is very small amount of the cards, I should definitely say that. He maybe run out of the cards also in a late game, so let's see what he's going to do right there. If he's going to attack... Oh, so he actually decided to knock out my Hippowdon right there by hitting with the Bite Off. Now actually with the Turbo Assault and putting 6 damage counters back on him, but right now he can have another strong energy attached on that Garchomp on the bench, which is very strong. How many resources I lost? Only 1 strong energy and 1 double chorus energy, so that's not too much. Alright. The bad thing is that I have 5 cards in my hand and I cannot play any of them, but at least I can knock out his Garchomp. So right now I managed to knock out 2 of his Garchomps. I'm going to take one more prize, which is a V-Seeker. Alright, so that V-Seeker is going to give me a opportunity actually right here to play my N. So end myself down to 4 cards where I can actually maybe try to find Eevee. One thing is for sure, he cannot one-hit knock out my Hippowdon in the active spot. Only if he managed to find 1 more strong energy and hit with the Bite Off for like 140, but without that, I will actually have my Hippowdon in play for the next turn, which is good. Because if I can maybe somehow top deck a Lysander, I will definitely go for that knockout over that Shaman on the bench. Because this is very important. So there is Turbo Assault for 100, and energy is going to be attached on his Garchomp on the bench. There is actually a Sycamore, but I will go with my N. I'm not going to attach energy yet, or actually I will. I'm not sure. I'm going to take a risk right here, actually, without attaching energy yet to my Hippowdon. If I can hit another Hippopotas, then I can actually attach energy, but I didn't find one. So let's see what I can get with my Abyssal Hand. Okay, just a double chorus attachment, and I attached energy misplay to my Octillery, and this is definitely going to cost me a victory right here. There is no doubt about that. I could not believe what I just done right here. I misclicked on my Octillery, and instead of attaching fighting energy to my Hippowdon, I actually attached my energy to my Octillery, and this is definitely going to lead me to probably losing this matchup. I will assume that, but you know, never know what can happen. So there is 1 more energy attached to that Carbink, and right now I would be able to respond and knock out his Garchomp. But I can't do that right now, so I'm just in a bad spot right here. So let's see what I can get with my Trainer's Mail. There is Trainer's Mail for the Ultra Ball. So I'm going to play my Ultra Ball for one of my V-Seekers and Fighting Energy just to see if I can find another Hippopotas. So yes, I can. And I'm going to end my opponent down here to like 3 cards. So there is a strong energy attachment. There is Abyssal Hand. Let's see what I can find with my Abyssal Hand right there. Just another Trainer's Mail, which will definitely be played, and there is a Lysander. So with that Lysander, I might be even able to take some time right here with Lysandering my opponent, shaming into the active spot. This might be a bad option, but I take the risk actually. There is a Eevee, so I can run back to my another auxiliary, or I can just stay in the active with this one. If he cannot retreat, he's going to be able to knock out my auxiliary. So I will just stay in the active spot just in case my opponent is not able to retreat. Then I can take 2 prizes maybe next turn by knocking out his shaming. Who knows? Maybe I at the end actually win this even by misplaying that fighting energy attached on my artillery on the bench. So let's see if he can retreat right here. Yes, there is a fighting energy, which means that he's going to knock out my artillery right there. And after that, I'm going to end him down to 2 cards. Yes, there is a bite off. Alright, not bad. So, a VS Seeker for N. Another Eevee. So I guess it's time to play my Flareon. And it's time to go with Abyssal Hand. That Abyssal Hand will hurt a lot if I don't manage to get my Hippowdon. Finally, there is a Hippowdon. So I can retreat and I can knock out his Garchomp right here. He's down to 2 cards. He can respond with attacking me with his another Garchomp on the bench. I might be able to take 3 more prizes right here. So there's Escape Rope. Alright. So I played like 3 VS Seekers in my Lysander, so I'm expecting to see Garchomp. So I need 1 more strong energy, and I actually have maybe 1 more strong energy left. So there is Corina. Lucario and a Super Road. Very interesting. So of course with the Super Road you're going to put some resources back into your deck. But again, if he puts down that Lucario, this might be a trap for him. So no, there is a Turbo Assault. He can definitely put 1 strong energy on his Carbink. Alright, expected. So there is a Jolteon, finally. So he can hit for 60, which is enough to knock out my Hippowdon. So I guess it's time to force my opponent to game me in the active spot that Carbink, so I can actually knock him out. This is the only chance in this matchup to knock out that Carbink, get Lysander for that last shaming, and pretty much to win this. But that 1 energy misplay on that auxiliary probably will lead to a game loss right here. So there is double chorus attachment, and I can even go with my Abyssal Hand right here for 2. Yes, I have strong energy, which is good. So I'm going to retreat onto my Hippowdon, and I'm going to play my Bursting Balloon or not. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Yes, I will definitely attach Bursting Balloon and then play N, or maybe not play N. Well, I will just use my Resistance Desert for now and knock out my opponent Carbink. So I'm looking for just a VS Seeker for victory. There is a Super Road. I don't know if I have VS Seeker left in my deck. I really don't know. So I get rid of his carving. So let's see what he can do right now. So there's Ultra Ball. I will just turn on the light. So there's just Ultra Ball for my opponent. Let's see what he can take with the Ultra Ball. So one Lysander actually is all I really need because I have Jolteon on the bench and I can hit for the weakness on that Shaman with my Resistance Desert, which would be enough for the knockout. But the question is, where is my V-Seeker? So there's Turbo Assault. He's going to put 6 damage counters on that Garchomp, that's for sure. I know that he had Lucario in his hand, so at least I know which card he actually have in his hand. Oh, actually he discarded that Lucario, so I definitely needs to end my opponent in this situation. So let's promote the Jolteon. It have free retreat, it really doesn't matter. There is a Sycamore and Strong Energy, of course. I'm going to play my Super Road. Let's go with the M. Alright, so I'm going down to 2. My opponent is going down to like 1. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to play my Abyssal hand, just take 3 more cards because I can. And I'm going to hit with my Resistance Desert, so enough for the knockout. I'm going to take 1 more prize, so we are right now equaled, and if you don't have support right now, I managed to get that V-Seeker, so pretty much I guess it's GG if he cannot find Rare Candy and Garchomp to evolve, so it really depends. I mean, he played already 3 Garchomps. V-Seeker for Karina actually will bring him a victory, so there is another Fighting Energy, and let's see what card he have in his hand. And V-Seeker, so yeah, pretty much he can go for Karina, and if he have 1 more Rare Candy left in his deck, he can definitely grab Garchomp for Rare Candy and Garchomp and evolve. Yes, so actually managed to lose. Who would expect that he will draw V-Seeker for victory? So definitely it was very, very nice matchup. So I was definitely missing that V-Seeker, and that of course misplay with that big misplay with my V-Seeker actually gave my opponent a chance to win, but that last actually energy even in his hand was just a big thing. So I hope you guys enjoy watching it. Once again, there is a full deck list. If you're looking actually to build this deck for the future format, this deck will definitely be a big deal. So if you're looking to build something like that, you can definitely try to use it. So once again, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more future videos. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave comments below. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.